The vast emptiness of space stretched before the exploration vessel horizon, its sleek metal hull cutting through the darkness like a silver arrow. Dr. Hana Kim stood at the observation deck, her dark eyes scanning the holographic display of an uncharted exoplanet designated K742. Something felt different about this mission. Captain J. Park's voice crackled through the communication system. Unusual energy signatures detected, Dr. Kim. Prepare for preliminary scan. His voice carried a mix of excitement and caution that echoed through the ship's corridors. Sung Lee, the chief engineer, manipulated complex control panels. Quantum. Sensors began probing the planet's surface, sending waves of electromagnetic pulses that could detect even the faintest signs of life. Suddenly, a sharp beep interrupted the routine scanning. Something's out there, Sung muttered, zooming in on a specific geographical region covered in rocky terrain and sparse vegetation. Dr. Kim leaned closer. The sensor readings were unlike anything she had encountered before. A massive life form was struggling, its biosignature flickering between active and near-terminal states. Beside the primary signal, a smaller, more stable reading pulsed with an almost rhythmic consistency. "Captain," she called, "we need to investigate immediately." The landing module detached from the horizon, descending through layers of alien atmosphere. Yuna Choi, the medical specialist, prepared emergency xenobiological equipment. Her hands moved with practiced precision, loading containment chambers and advanced medical nanobots. As they touched down, the landscape revealed itself. Jagged rock formations created a maze-like terrain with strange crystalline structures jutting from the ground. The air was thin, with a bluish tint that made breathing equipment essential. Dr. Kim led the small exploration team. Each step crunched against the rocky surface, their protective suits shimmering with adaptive camouflage technology. The larger biosignal was getting weaker. Then they saw it. A massive creature, clearly an apex predator, lay wounded near a rock formation. Its body was covered in metallic-like scales that seemed to shift colors with each labored breath. Multiple wounds suggested a violent encounter, possibly with another predator or advanced weapon system. "It's dying," Yuna whispered, her medical scanner working overtime to analyze the alien physiology. But something else caught Dr. Kim's attention. A small, carefully concealed biochamber was partially hidden beneath the wounded creature's massive form. The chamber pulsed with a soft rhythmic light. A cub, she realized. This is a parent protecting its offspring. The team faced an immediate dilemma. Galactic exploration protocols were clear: observe, but do not interfere. Yet the life signs were critical. The adult predator would not survive, and the hidden cub would soon follow. Captain Park's voice came through their communication systems. "What's the situation, Dr. Kim?" She hesitated, knowing her next decision could change everything. The cub's life signs were strong but vulnerable. The parent was moments from death. Years of xenobiological training battled with a more fundamental human instinct, the desire to protect. "We're bringing them both aboard," she finally responded. Yuna began preparing emergency life support systems. Sung Lee modified containment protocols. Their movements were synchronized, a well-practiced dance of scientific intervention. As they carefully extracted the biochamber and prepared to transport the wounded parent, something unexpected happened. The dying creature's eye, a complex, multi-layered organ that seemed to contain entire universes, locked directly with Dr. Kim's. In that moment, something passed between them. Not words, not a clear communication, but a profound understanding that transcended species, a silent plea that spoke of survival, of hope, of protecting the next generation. The exploration of K742 was no longer just a mission. It had become something more, a rescue, a promise. The beginning of an extraordinary journey that would challenge everything they knew about life in the universe. The medical bay of the horizon hummed with strange energy. Machines blinked and pulsed around the alien cub, now carefully nestled in a specialized containment unit. Dr. Yuna Choi worked with intense concentration, her hands moving swiftly across holographic medical interfaces. The cub was unlike anything they had ever seen. Its body seemed to shift colors slightly, like a living camouflage system. Soft scales covered its small form, each scale appearing more like a complex technological component than a biological surface. Its cellular structure is extraordinary, Yuna muttered to Dr. Hana Kim, who watched with equal fascination. Some systems are completely alien to our understanding. Captain J. Park stood at the observation window, watching the delicate medical intervention. Sung Lee had already modified the ship's life support systems to accommodate the unknown physiology of their unexpected passenger. The quantum translation algorithm struggled to decode the cub's basic biological signals. Every time they thought they understood one system, another would reveal itself as completely incomprehensible. Its respiratory system seemed to work differently from any known life form, processing what appeared to be multiple types of atmospheric compounds simultaneously. Hours passed. The medical team worked in careful shifts. The cub remained in a state between life and some unknown form of biological suspension. Its small body occasionally released pulses of energy that made the medical equipment flicker and reset. "We're Yubo. Losing it," Yuna said suddenly, her voice breaking the tense silence. The cub's life signs began to destabilize. Standard medical protocols meant nothing here. This was a life form so different, so complex, that human medical knowledge seemed primitive in comparison. Dr. Kim made a split-second decision. "Activate the experimental nano-adaptive protocol," she instructed. Sung Lee looked shocked. The protocol was experimental, barely tested. It was designed to create a symbiotic interface between unknown biological systems, essentially allowing medical nanobots to learn and adapt in real time. The nanobots entered the containment chamber. They moved like a liquid silver cloud, surrounding the cub's body. For several moments, nothing happened. Then suddenly, the entire medical bay lit up with a soft blue glow. The cub's body began to stabilize. Its color shifts became more controlled, less random. The medical monitors started displaying more coherent readings. Something extraordinary was happening. The nanobots weren't just treating the creature, they were learning from it. "Incredible," Yuna whispered. Captain Park watched as the cub's eyes, complex, multi-layered organs that seemed to contain entire universes, slowly opened. They were not like any eyes anyone had seen before. They seemed to look through things, not just at them. A soft sound emerged from the cub. It wasn't a cry or a growl. It was something between a communication signal and a biological pulse. The ship's advanced systems began to record and analyze. Dr. Kim leaned closer. Something in that sound felt like a message. Not words, but a feeling, a sense of loss, of survival, of something larger than just individual survival. The cub's body began to generate a low-frequency energy field. Medical equipment around it started to respond, calibrating themselves to its unique biological rhythm. It was as if the creature was teaching the human technology how to understand it. Sung Lee's monitoring systems picked up something unexpected. The cub was not just recovering, it was adapting, learning. The nanobots were becoming part of its biological system, creating a new form of hybrid biological technological existence. "It's communicating," Sung said suddenly. "Not with sound, with energy patterns." The medical bay filled with a soft, pulsing light. The cub's body continued to stabilize, but something more was happening. It was establishing a connection, not just with the medical systems, but with the ship itself. Dr. Kim realized they were witnessing something unprecedented. This was not just a medical intervention. This was first contact in its most fundamental form. A meeting of two entirely different forms of existence learning to understand each other. The cub's eyes met Dr. Kim's. In that moment, she understood that their journey had just begun. Whatever this creature was, it was far more than just a survivor. It was a bridge between two unimaginably different worlds. 3 days after the initial medical intervention, something remarkable began to happen on the horizon. The alien cub, which they had started calling Reich, was demonstrating abilities far beyond their initial understanding. Dr. Hana Kim noticed it first. The quantum translation algorithms were no longer just receiving random signals. They were capturing complex patterns, not exactly language, but something more profound, a form of communication that existed between thought and energy. Sung Lee had modified the ship's communication systems to interface with Reich's unique biological structure. What started as experimental technology was now revealing extraordinary insights. The cub was not just communicating, it was teaching. During one late-night observation, Captain J. Park watched as Reich manipulated a holographic display. Its small body generated intricate energy patterns that translated into complex mathematical sequences. The ship's computers began to reorganize themselves, adapting to these new input methods. It's like the cub is rewriting our entire technological understanding, Sung muttered, watching the data streams flow across multiple screens. Yuna Choi discovered something even more fascinating. Reich's biological systems contained memory storage capabilities that human technology couldn't fully comprehend. Fragments of what seemed like historical records, genetic memories, and technological knowledge began to emerge. The crew learned that Reich's species had been facing a systematic elimination by another advanced civilization. These memories were not just information, they were survival records, passed down through generations in a way humans could barely understand. One particular memory sequence revealed a devastating conflict. Massive ships destroying entire planetary systems. Survival protocols embedded deep within Reich's biological structure showed a species pushed to the brink of extinction. Dr. Kim realized they were witnessing something extraordinary. Reich was not just a survivor. It was a living archive of an entire civilization's history and knowledge. The ship's atmosphere changed. What had started as a rescue mission was transforming into something much larger. The crew began to see Reich, not as a subject of study, but as a potential ally. Communication became more fluid. Reich started generating holographic representations of its home world. Massive landscapes with crystal structures that seemed to breathe. Cities that looked more like living organisms than constructed environments. The images were breathtaking. A civilization so advanced it blurred the line between technology and life itself. Captain Park noticed how the crew's perspective was changing. Initial scientific curiosity had transformed into something deeper. They were no longer just researchers. They had become protectors. Sung Lee discovered that Reich could interface directly with the ship's systems. Navigation algorithms improved. Energy efficiency increased. It was as if the cub was slowly healing and upgrading the horizon itself. We're learning as much from it as it's learning from us, Yuna observed during one of their daily briefings. The most significant breakthrough came unexpectedly. Reich generated a complex energy pattern that the team initially thought was random, but Dr. Kim recognized something familiar. Astronomical coordinates. Precise. Specific. "These are not random," she said, her voice trembling with excitement. "These are survival coordinates, places where other members of its species might have escaped. The implications were massive. This small cub might hold the key to finding the remaining survivors of an entire civilization. Captain Park made a decision that would change everything. "We're changing our mission parameters," he announced. "We're going to help Reich find its people." Reich's multi-layered eyes seemed to shine with something that looked remarkably like hope. The energy patterns surrounding the cub pulsed with a rhythm that felt like gratitude. The horizon changed course. What had begun as a routine exploration mission was now a rescue operation. Humans and their alien passenger were united by something more powerful than protocol or scientific curiosity. They were united by the most fundamental drive in the universe, the desire to survive. To protect, to reconnect. The star system appeared, peaceful at first glance. Millions of kilometers of seemingly empty space stretched between distant planetary bodies. But Reich knew differently. Captain J. Park studied the holographic displays, his fingers tracing the complex energy signatures that Reich was generating. The cub had grown significantly, its body now displaying intricate communication patterns that the ship's systems could partially interpret. "They're coming," Reich communicated through a series of energy pulses that translated into sharp, precise warnings. Dr. Hana Kim and Sung Lee worked frantically to prepare the Horizon's defensive systems. What they discovered about the approaching threat was terrifying. An advanced civilization known as the Void Hunters was closing in, a species that systematically eliminated other intelligent life forms. The first attack came without warning. Massive energy weapons sliced through the darkness of space, targeting the horizon with precision that suggested more than simple combat tactics. This was calculated elimination. "Defensive shields at maximum," Sung Lee shouted, his fingers dancing across multiple control interfaces. Reich's body began to change. The small creature they had rescued now generated a protective energy field that seemed to merge with the ship's own systems. It was no longer just a passenger. It was becoming a critical part of the Horizon's survival mechanism. The Void Hunters' ships were unlike anything humans had encountered. They moved like liquid metal, shifting and reforming with each defensive maneuver. Traditional combat strategies meant nothing against such an adaptive enemy. "They're not just trying to destroy us," Dr. Kim realized. "They're trying to erase all evidence of our existence." Yuna Choi managed the medical bay, preparing for potential casualties. But this was unlike any conflict they had trained for. The battle was happening as much in technological space as in physical space. Reich projected a series of complex energy patterns. Suddenly, the Horizon systems began to transform. Navigation algorithms redesigned themselves. Weapon systems reconfigured using technologies that seemed to blend Reich's biological capabilities with human engineering. Captain Park made a critical decision. "We're not running," he announced. "We're fighting back." The next moments were beyond human comprehension. The Horizon became something more than a ship. It became a living weapon, guided by the combined intelligence of its human crew and their alien companion. Energy weapons that should have destroyed them simply dissipated. The ship moved in ways that defied known physics, guided by Reich's intricate understanding of spatial dynamics. One by one, the Void Hunters' ships began to malfunction. Their perfect technological systems were being undermined by something they couldn't understand. A combination of human determination and Reich's advanced biological technology. "They've hunted my people for generations," Reich communicated, its energy patterns revealing centuries of pain and survival. "But they've never encountered humans before. The battle wasn't just about survival, it was about proving that intelligence comes in many forms. That adaptability and cooperation could overcome even the most advanced technological threat." As the last Void Hunter ship collapsed, something extraordinary happened. Reich generated a massive energy pulse that spread across the star system. It was a signal, a message of hope and survival. Sung Lee's systems picked up unexpected data. The energy pulse was more than a weapon or a communication method. It was a beacon, a signal that might reach other survivors of Reich's species. "We've done more than survive," Dr. Kim whispered. "We've created a chance for something new." The Horizon drifted in the quiet aftermath of the battle, damaged but unbroken, changed fundamentally by the experience. Captain Park looked at Reich. The creature that had started as a rescued cub was now something entirely different. A partner, a bridge between species, a symbol of hope. Their journey was far from over. But they had proven something fundamental about survival, about intelligence, about the unexpected ways different species could come together. The massive conference chamber aboard the Horizon felt different. Representatives from multiple alien species sat together, something that would have been impossible just months earlier. At the center stood Reich, no longer a small cub but a powerful communicator representing its nearly extinct species. Dr. Hana Kim watched as diplomatic protocols dissolved. These were not traditional negotiations. This was survival talking. The remnants of Reich's civilization, survivors found across different star systems, gathered to discuss their future. Captain J. Park presented holographic data showing how humans had helped locate and rescue scattered survivors. Technological exchanges happened simultaneously, human engineering mixing with alien biological systems in ways no one could have predicted. Sung Lee demonstrated the hybrid technologies they had developed. Quantum communication systems that could translate between multiple species. Energy generation methods that combined human engineering with Reich's advanced biological capabilities. We are no longer separate, Reich communicated through complex energy patterns. We are a new collective. The alien representatives showed scars of their long conflict. Some were technological beings, some were biological entities. Some existed in forms humans could barely comprehend. But they shared one thing, a desperate need to survive. Una Choi presented medical research that showed how their collaborative technologies could revolutionize healing across multiple species. Regeneration techniques, adaptive medical nanobots, systems that could help species recover from near extinction. The humans had become more than rescuers. They were partners, architects of a new galactic understanding. Diplomatic agreements were signed, not with traditional paper but through synchronized energy patterns that merged multiple communication systems. Each signature represented more than a treaty. It represented hope. Reich moved between representatives, its body generating communication fields that helped different species understand each other. What started as a rescue mission had transformed into something extraordinary, a true interstellar alliance. The recovered survivors shared their histories, technological archives, survival memories. Each revelation showed how close they had been to complete elimination, how a chance rescue had changed everything. Humans did not just save us, one survivor communicated. They showed us a different way of existing. Technological exchanges happened rapidly. Star maps were shared, defensive technologies combined. What the Void Hunters had tried to destroy was now becoming stronger than ever. Captain Park realized they had done more than rescue a species. They had created a new model of galactic cooperation, one based on mutual understanding rather than conflict. Sung Lee's hybrid communication systems began mapping potential exploration routes, zones where different species could collaborate, research areas that could benefit entire galactic communities. Dr. Kim presented research showing how their collaborative technologies could solve problems that had seemed impossible. Climate restoration, energy generation, interstellar communication. The conference wasn't just about survival. It was about reimagining what was possible. Reich generated a final communication pulse. It showed a vision, multiple species working together, technological and biological systems merging, a future where differences became strengths. As the conference concluded, something fundamental had changed. The humans were no longer just explorers. They were bridges, connectors of different galactic civilizations. The horizon prepared for its next mission. But this time, it would not travel alone. Multiple ships from different species would accompany them, a fleet representing a new way of existing in the universe. Reich stood at the center of the bridge, its body generating complex energy patterns. No longer a rescued cub, now a symbol of survival, of hope, of unexpected connections. The stars outside seemed to shine differently, brighter, more full of possibility.